not take an hour. I'm sticking to the 5 minutes, maybe 6. But Sean, 513 batting average. Stephen Vogt would have walked you, for sure. He better have. I'm with you on that one, though. Why did he not walk Juan Soto? But anyway, hello. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for inducting Angie into the 2024 Hall of Fame. She certainly is an all-time great from one of Ohio's all-time great distance running programs. You can read Angie's stats in the program, but what I'd like to do tonight is just share with you a story about Angie, a running story. What it does is it illustrates her incredible will to win and her uncanny ability to overcome obstacles. And I wrote the story down because I want to make sure I get it right, because it's been like 35 years since this happened. So it goes something like this. So back in 1988, cross-country season, 1988, Angie's last year at Olmsted Falls, she was as sure of a bet as any to win the state cross-country title. And she had been to state the year before with her team, and the team ended up winning the state title, and she was a part of that. And she also got to witness that same year her teammate, Kim Halisak, win the individual state cross-country title. So now this was going to be Angie's year to take over and win that title for Olmsted Falls. So Angie cruised through the season, undefeated pretty much in every meet, had an amazing season going, but the week of the state meet, she came down with bronchitis, bad case of bronchitis. You need to breathe in running, and she could not breathe at the state meet. Gave it a heroic effort, but that bronchitis prevented her from winning the state championship that season. That was unfortunate, because there would be no more opportunities at Olmsted Falls for Angie to win an individual cross-country state title. So, being the type of athlete she is, she quickly shook that off, and she decided, I still have track, I still have the spring, and I'm going to be the 1600 meters state champ. So spring track came, and Angie went undefeated in the 1600 through the district meet, and actually, the meet before the district meet was the Southwestern Conference Championships. Now our conference in track is really good. It's very, very competitive. And Angie pulled off a Triple Crown win that day, which is she won the 800, she won the 1600, and she won the 3200, all in the span of an hour. That's just incredible. It's something that's rarely done, especially in a conference as competitive as ours. So she did that, and then the following week won the mile again at the district meet. Now, the next week is the regional meet, and that is the step before state. Top 4 make it to state. And as we all know in this room, every athlete knows, every parent of an athlete knows, off days are part of the sport. And for Angie, not a good time to have an off day, but she had an off day that day at regionals. She wasn't sick, she wasn't injured, and it was just an off day, no excuses. She took 4th place, barely made it out to the state meet. Now the silver lining was she made it to the state meet, but that's not the performance you're hoping for at the regional meet, heading into the state meet, particularly if you are going to win the state meet. So Angie had worked so hard to be a state champ, because she was following in a long line of them. Michelle Callaghan here was a multi-state champ. Kim Halisak is a multi-state champ. The teams were state champs over and over. Angie's was last chance for Angie to win an individual state championship. So what we needed to do is we needed to get her confidence back. We weren't even so sure that she still didn't have the confidence, because she was a very confident athlete, but as it was, we needed to do something to make sure she was confident enough to win that state title the next week. So Ray and I talked about a high-risk, high-reward workout that we could have Angie run the Monday of the week of state. So that's 5 days before the state meet. Now, in track, it's impossible to run a personal best for a distance event in a workout. It just never happens. Angie's race was 4 laps. So we thought if we could have her do a 3-lap time trial at the same pace that she's gonna have to run the pace at to win the state meet, and she does that, and if she feels good doing it, it could give her the jolt of confidence that she needed to win the state meet the next week. But in a non-race situation, even running 3 laps at that pace is extremely difficult. So we understood the risk of attempting something like this would be, number one, it's extremely difficult, but number two, if it didn't go well, it would not be a good follow-up to her subpar race the week before, and it could compound any doubt she might have that she has the ability to win the state meet the next week. So we were in a bit of a pickle here. But we also knew that Angie was the best miler in Ohio, and we also knew that she overcame a lot after not winning in cross country to get back to this point. So what we thought was the benefits of doing this workout outweighed the risks, and so we're going to proceed to do the workout. So I still remember this on the way to the track. This is 35 years ago, but I remember this so well. Driving to the track that day in Ray's old Toyota Corolla, we almost pulled the plug on that workout. It was just going to be so hard to run straight 75s for 3 laps, 75 seconds a lap for 3 laps. That would be so hard to do, and you want her to feel good doing it. You don't want her to be so tired at the end that she says, there's no way I could go another lap at that pace. So you don't want that. You want her to be able to do it and do it feeling good. But we did not pull the plug on the workout. We got to the track and we told Angie what we wanted her to attempt to do, and she didn't even bat an eye. She was totally fine with it. So to simulate the race, I ran with her, and as we ran, I would look over lap to lap, every lap, and I would see confidence. I would see a relaxed runner. I would see a strong runner. I'd look over, she was so strong. She had 75 on the first lap. She had 75 on the second lap. She had 75 on the third lap, got done, and looked great. And she was back. Angie was back. And at that point, it was in Ray and our minds, Ray's mind and my mind, and I'm sure Angie's mind, she was going to win the state meet the next week. So, but you still have to do it, right? You still have to do it. This is an amazing state for distance running. It's one of the top 5 in the country every year for distance running. So you can talk a lot about winning a state meet, but actually doing it is another thing. So despite her crash and burn the week before at the regional meet, barely making it to state, and despite the fact that at the state meet, she's warmed up, ready to go at the horseshoe at Ohio State, the skies let loose. A torrential downpour, thunderstorm, a 1-hour delay, and so she's got to re-warm up, she's got to re-psych up, and she's got to get ready to go again. But despite all that, her confidence was at an all-time high from that workout. Now, the plan, and by the way, nobody picked her to win this race based on her performance at regionals. So, but they did not know what she did the Monday before. They didn't know that. If they would have known that, they would have thought twice. But the plan here was to follow the leaders until 500 meters to go, then move to the front. And Angie played that to perfection. And I will never forget the moment. I'm in the stands. Angie moved. You just don't know how's she feeling. Is she going to move to the front? Is she not going to because she doesn't feel good? Is it going to be like last week? I will never forget. It's etched in my brain forever. The moment when she stormed into the lead up the home stretch and took that lead with 1 lap to go, with 500 meters to go. And I'll tell you, as nervous as I get for these races, for these girls, and Ray can attest to that, once Angie took the lead, my nerves totally went away, and I went into like a mental cool down, because once I saw her storm into the lead and how strong she looked, it looked like the Monday before in that workout. And I'll tell you, anybody in the stands that day, once they saw Angie take that lead, nobody thought that anybody else was going to win that race. long story long, she did win the race, and she won it in dominating fashion. And this doesn't this describe the prototypical Hall of Famer, right? She gets knocked down in cross country, she gets back up. She gets knocked down again at the regional meet a week before, and she gets up guns a-blazing. And this is not just Angie on the track. She displays this in all aspects of her life. She's an overcomer of adversity, she's an overachiever, and she's an incredible, amazing woman that I'm very honored to know. So without further ado, let's get Angie up here, and you can meet one of the all-time greats.
You guys will have to watch me talk for a little bit. I just had surgery 2 days ago on my shoulder, but I feel good. But I just want to thank everybody, first of all, for inducting me into this Hall of Fame. It means a lot. And I just wanted to say, I started running when I was 7 years old. And that race that Don talked about was probably the best race I had ever had in my life. And it was because of the coaching that Don and Ray gave me, and they believed in me, and my family believed in me, and I'm just very thankful for that. Thank you.